Okay, I feel like this video is going to be very hard for me to film without getting a little bit emotional and stumbling my words and everything, but I'm just gonna sit here right now today. It's actually tonight that I'm filming this, but anyways, I'm just gonna sit here and talk with you guys about my fragrance collaboration with Fragrance du Bois called Minuit Demi. I'm gonna reveal everything so that you guys know how this fragrance smells, if you want to buy it, what you're buying, the inspiration behind it, the perfumer, everything. I'm gonna share the story of Minuit Demi. Now, if you only care about the notes, everything, how to buy it, when to buy it, I'm gonna leave a timestamp of when you guys can speed forward to, because I just want to make a little speech right now and it's very important that I make it, and I'm gonna get emotional. I just want to say, I don't even know how to say it, how grateful I am for the love and support and the continued support and the loyalty that you guys have had to my channel and my journey. Because I'm telling you right now, I would never in my life have had this opportunity if it wasn't for you guys watching my videos and giving me this platform to share my passion on. If I didn't have this, obviously this would never have been possible. I am not somebody who has a family in the perfume industry. I am not somebody who comes from the industry. I feel like this is what happens when I get anxious. I get really, really red here. Anyway, I'm gonna cover it with my hair. I am not trying to be self-deprecating whatsoever, because I hate when people do that, but I am not somebody who this was bound to happen in their life. I am the last person that this collaboration would have been possible for, and it happened. And I have nobody to thank but you guys. I'm really, really, really want to tell you how much I appreciate all of your love and support. From the bottom of my heart, you have no idea how much it means to me. And I just cannot believe what we did. This collaboration with Fragrance du Bois, I have been working on this fragrance for 1 year. I met the brand in Cannes at the Tax-Free World Association last year. I met them, I loved them, I loved the team. They are like a little family. They are not a corporation or a huge business of sharks and workmen. They are this little family who all feel so passionately about Fragrance du Bois. And I fell in love with the brand. I fell in love with the team, and I just knew that I wanted to do something with Fragrance du Bois. If you don't know, the first fragrance that I fell in love with, I have it here as I'm sitting in front of my collection. My Fragrance du Bois love started right here with this fragrance. This is called Santal Complète. It's even in the old packaging because I had it from such a long time ago. It was actually thanks to a subscriber that I discovered this fragrance. She sent me a sample, I smelled Santal Complète, and I just couldn't believe this fragrance of how beautiful it was. So I just wanted to share a little bit of insight of how my love started for the brand, because that's where it started. Then I met them, and then I fell in love with the whole team, all of the fragrances, and I knew that I wanted to work with them. So fast forward to 1 year later, we have our little baby. It kind of sounds gross. We have our little passion project in a bottle called Minuit Demi. And I am just so excited from the bottom of my heart for you guys to smell this fragrance and what I created. Listen to me when I say this. My fragrance is not the best fragrance in the world. It is not Chanel No. 5 or Baccarat Rouge or Dior Sauvage or Chanel Bleu de Chanel. It is not a fragrance like that. But I can tell you guys that I put everything that I love and everything that I know into this perfume that I wanted to create for you. I'm telling you guys right now, it is not the best perfume. So don't buy it thinking that it's the best perfume in the world. Please don't buy it thinking that. Please buy it thinking that this is what Demi created for you, because I created this fragrance for you guys. So let's get into a little bit of information about my fragrance, because I really want to talk about it and cover all of the points. So let's quickly start out with the name Minuit Demi, which is such a cool name because it actually means 12:30, half past midnight in French. So basically what happened is that I did a competition on my Instagram asking my subscribers and asking my followers to suggest some names. Whoever suggests a name that I decide to use for my fragrance will win a full 100 ml bottle. I'm gonna be honest, I was struggling with the name. I remember I was thinking of Velour Sensuel, Cafe something. I was really, honestly guys, I was stumbling on the name. I was really stressing about it. I couldn't pick a name, so I was like, that's it. I'm gonna ask the people that know me best, which is my followers. Besides my family, it's my followers. So I was like, let's do a competition. Whoever suggests the perfect name is going to win my fragrance. There were so many names and I'm so grateful for all of the suggestions. I also loved the name Le Danse de l'amour, the dance of love, but it's a little more feminine. So Minuit Demi, meaning half past midnight in French, for me was perfect, especially when I knew how the fragrance smelled. For me, the fragrance is for a date. It is something sexy and sensual, but we'll get into that after. So that is how the name came up. I have messaged, actually there was 2 winners, so I messaged both of them and they will be receiving a full bottle of my fragrance very soon. You guys just don't understand how much this was a dream of mine to make my perfume. It has been a dream of mine ever since I really started getting into this fragrance hobby. It was a dream for me to create a fragrance. I didn't know if I wanted to ever have a brand, which I'm still not really sure about. I don't think I will ever have a brand, but I knew I wanted to collaborate with a prestigious, already established brand on my fragrance. And the fact that it was Fragrance du Bois, I was shocked. Really, I was shocked. When they were like, yes, let's do it, I was like, excuse me. I couldn't believe that they really wanted to do it and go ahead with this collaboration. I was so grateful. So yeah. Alrighty guys, now for the information part. Let's start out with something that I really want to define right now, is that my fragrance is unisex. It is 100% unisex. It is a gourmand fragrance, so it's very sweet, not too sweet, which is something that was in my head when I was creating this scent, is that I wanted to make a gourmand that wasn't sickly and overly sweet. It was really what was in my head. I also didn't want to make a fragrance that smelled overly synthetic or too much. I really wanted to make something soft, gourmand, sweet, and very intoxicating and sensual. So that was what I had in mind. I made a whole entire brief of the notes that I love, etc., the inspiration, blah blah. I worked with one of the greatest labs in the industry on this perfume. I worked with Symrise. They are one of the top labs in the fragrance industry, and I cannot say enough good things about Symrise. I'm not going to go into it in this video because it's more about the fragrance, but I am so thankful to the team that I work with. I cannot tell you guys, if you want to start a brand or if you know someone that wants to start a brand, really you should work with Symrise, because they put more time and energy into the launch of my fragrance, into the production of my fragrance than I've ever experienced in my life. I felt like royalty. Really, I felt like royalty when I was working with Symrise. They spent hours and hours and hours and days and weeks trying to speed things up for me, trying to help me for the launch, trying to produce the fragrance. They have done just an incredible job. The team is amazing in Dubai and in Paris. They're just fantastic. The perfumer of my fragrance, just so that you guys know, is not a very well-known perfumer at all. And the reason that I want to say that is because a lot of the time when a brand or a person releases a fragrance, they really think that just because they have the biggest perfumer in the industry making their fragrance, that it's going to be a success. And that is not true at all. And it's something that I had in my head from the beginning. I had the chance, and I'm not trying to be cocky when I say this, I had the chance to work with perfumers from Firmenich, IFF, Symrise. I had the chance to work with people that made some of the top fragrances that have ever been made in the industry. And I will be honest with you guys, one of the perfumers that I love, I respect so much is Maurice Roussel. He made Mousse Gravageur from Frederic Malle, along with so many other fragrances. He works for Symrise. I smelled what he made for me off my brief, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. I actually had a lineup of 25 fragrances from all of Symrise best perfumers, And I had Annick Monado, incredible perfumer, master perfumer, has made some of the best fragrances of all time. I had so many incredible perfumers that made a fragrance off of my brief. I blindly smelled them. I had my eyes closed. I smelled them. And the one that I loved, I knew it from the beginning. I knew that I loved this fragrance from the beginning. There was no question about it. That was it. This fragrance that I smelled, I remember the name. They called it Constantinople, I think. And I remember smelling this fragrance and I was like, this is it. This is the one. We're working on this one. Who made it? Tarek, who made it? The guy that I'm working with. And he said, Stephane Bengana. He's a perfumer that works here in the Dubai office. And I fell in love with what he created. And that's it. I wanted to work with Stephane Bengana on this perfume. So I did. So that is a little story about the perfumer. It's not the most well-known perfumer in the world, even though I had the chance to work with crazy perfumers on this scent. I chose to work with the person who created something so incredible off of the brief that I gave. And I wanted to continue this momentum. I knew that there was something there and that this perfumer understood what I was thinking in my head, and I wanted to work with him. So that is it about the perfumer, Stephane Bengana from Symrise. Let's talk about the notes. Everyone wants to know the notes. I'm gonna go ahead and reveal them now. I'm gonna read them off my phone and tell you guys. So, one other thing, guys, I don't even have a bottle of my fragrance yet. This is my bottle right here. I don't have one yet. I will get one ASAP, but this is the one that I've been wearing at the moment. So I'm gonna leave a photo of what my bottle will look like, but it's gonna be like the standard Fragrance du Bois bottle, except it has my signature on it as well. Are you ready to hear the notes? So, the top notes of my fragrance are bergamot, cardamom, and pimento. Now, a lot of people have been curious about what pimento is. I know it sounds very crazy when you hear what pimento is, but don't worry, I'm gonna explain it to you guys in simple terms. The opening of my fragrance has a very soft and subtle spice to it. Something very soft, and it just kind of hits you. It sparks your interest, and it's just like this little hint of spice. Nothing crazy, nothing too much. It doesn't have cumin or saffron in the top. It's just got this beautiful, subtle, spicy feeling at the top. You can't even really smell that it's a spice. You just feel this kind of spicy nuance at the top. Now, don't worry, it doesn't smell like cooking spices or anything like that. It's a very beautiful and elegant, spicy top. Now that dies down pretty quickly, I'm gonna be honest. I love the opening of my fragrance. It's beautiful. I will be honest, it's beautiful, but it dries down pretty quickly into the heart notes, which are coffee and caramel. Now, I knew that I wanted to have coffee in my fragrance from the beginning. I love coffee fragrances. I adore them. I didn't want to create something like Intense Cafe from Montal or Oud Bouquet from Lancôme. Those fragrances, the rose oud coffee praline fragrances, they are the easiest fragrances to create on the market. Sweet rose oud scents. They are the easiest. I did not want that. I did not want to duplicate that. There is too many on the market. I wanted something different, and I really feel like my fragrance is pretty different. You really get the coffee and the caramel a lot throughout the fragrance. It is not a caramel that is too sweet. I did not want a fragrance too sweet. That is something that I did not want at all. I did not want my fragrance to be a sickly sweet gourmand. I'm really not into those sort of fragrances anymore. I didn't want something that made you feel suffocated by its sweetness. I really did not want that. So yeah, the coffee note with the caramel, they play so beautifully together. It's incredible. I'm gonna give you guys kind of a feeling of how overall smells after the base. The base, we have Vetiver, Cedarwood, Cashmeran, Vanilla, Musk, and the Tobacco Bourbon de Laire base from Symrise. Symrise have some very exclusive bases to their company, and they're in some of the most famous perfumes in the industry. And in this fragrance, I use the Tobacco Bourbon base from Symrise. It doesn't really smell boozy or super tobacco-y. It's just in the base to give it that little oriental punch. Now, overall, how does it smell? I'm gonna go ahead and spray it now. So, like I said, in the top, you get that little spice, but it still has a very obvious sweetness in the top, which I love. So it has this little burst of sweetness with that spice. And then it starts to come down, and for me, you can really smell that kind of dark, bitter coffee note that comes through. And then as it starts to warm up on your skin, you're gonna get that kind of balance between the coffee and the caramel. It almost smells a little bit milky, which I love. I really wanted my fragrance to have a lactonic quality to it. And then as it dries down further and further and further, you're gonna get those kind of more warm and slightly woody base notes to it. There is no oud in here, there is nothing crazy in here, but it is just, I'm just in love with what I created. I do want to say something about the longevity of my scent. I want you to know this before you purchase my fragrance, is that the projection of my fragrance is not crazy. It is not Baccarat Rouge. It is not Émission Oud for Greatness. It is not Amouage Interlude. It doesn't have that sort of projection to it. It is something that sits a little closer to your skin. It's something more intimate and sensual. Don't get me wrong, it does last on your skin, you will see, especially on your clothes. I don't know why, but my fragrance, Minuit Demi, you spray it on your clothes, which I highly recommend that you do, by the way. It's going to last there if you don't wash your clothes for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's crazy. It leaves a nice little intimate bubble around you, but it doesn't project a lot. And I really want to be clear about that, because I know that some people, when spending a lot of money on a fragrance, want that beast mode projecting fragrance. My fragrance doesn't project, although it does last on your skin. So I just want to be clear about that. A very, very, very important note right now is that my fragrance is 100% unisex. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but a lot of people have been thinking that my fragrance is feminine. It is 100% unisex. It is a gourmand fragrance, as you can tell from the notes, coffee and caramel and a little spice in the top, and some woody, deep, smooth base notes. So yeah, my fragrance is unisex, and I will tell you guys, it was the hardest thing ever to create something unisex. It's much easier to create something masculine or feminine. To create something unisex was a massive headache. I just love it so much. I just love it, love it, love it so much. I also want to say that, guys, you can go ham on the trigger of this one. You can spray it wherever you want to spray it, however much you want to spray it, in your hair, on your clothes, however much. It's not going to suffocate you. It's not going to be too much or be too headachy. It's not like that at all. It is a soft gourmand that actually contains a lot of naturals. It has a lot of naturals and obviously synthetics in there as well, but the naturals are just beautiful. I really feel like my fragrance is a very natural smelling gourmand scent. Very sexy, very intoxicating, very sensual and addictive, but it has something mysterious about it as well. Massive, massive, massive compliment getter. I'm not going to talk about compliments because I don't want to ruin it by talking about it, but it gets you a lot of compliments if you're interested. Let's talk about the price. Now I'm going to push through a little quicker so that this video isn't too long. The price of my fragrance. This was something that I really pushed with the brand. We spoke about the price for a very, very long time because personally, I didn't want my fragrance to be inaccessible to a lot of you guys. Even me, fragrance is expensive. Luxury niche fragrances, they're expensive. So I really didn't want my fragrance to be on the high end of fragrance du bois. I wanted it to be on more of the lower end. Even though the ingredients used in my fragrance are very, very expensive, I wanted it to be on the more affordable side. So I really pushed for the price that I got. I really pushed for it. I didn't want my fragrance to be like Sahara Oud, which is around £500, and they have some fragrances that are even more expensive, etc. So the price of my fragrance is £250. £250 for my fragrance. Now at this stage, we are not selling samples. We are not selling 50 ml bottles. It is just 100 ml bottle of Minuit Demi for £250. Because guys, my fragrance is a limited edition release. It is limited edition. Once it's gone, it's gonna be gone forever. And something that really hurts my heart when I see it is that we didn't order a lot. We should have ordered more, but we didn't order a lot, and I'm super worried that it's going to sell out because of the quantity. It's very small. So if you really want my fragrance and if you love what I do and you love my recommendations, honestly, I'm telling you all right now, you should buy it because it's a limited edition. That's it. I'm very sorry that this has happened like this. Maybe if it's a success, we will maybe get more. I'm not really sure. Another thing is that it's online exclusive to fragrancedubois.com. You can't try it in one of their boutiques or one of their retailers. It was too complicated to do this for a limited edition release. So we're just doing it online exclusive to fragrancedubois.com. Again, I will list all of this information detailed down below for you guys so that you know. So it's a limited edition, only online exclusive to fragrancedubois.com. It is retailing for £250 and there are no samples, no 50 ml, it's just 100 ml. The next thing is very, very important that you listen to what I'm going to say because it's very important. So, Minuit Demi, it's going to be live and available for pre-order on the 19th of December at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. So you need to Google what time zones you are. I will try and do it, but if not, you need to Google it yourself. So the 19th of December, 12:30 a.m. to fit with the theme because my fragrance is called Minuit Demi, half past midnight, and majority of my viewers are from the US. Well, not majority, but a very high amount of my viewers are from the US, so that's why I did it this way. So 19th of December at 12:30 a.m. you can buy my fragrance. Now, this is the most important thing here. If you pre-order my fragrance, you need to be prepared to not receive it before the end of January. So if you buy it now as a pre-order, you're not going to receive the fragrance till around the end of January. So please, please, please don't buy my fragrance if you're not aware of this. Don't buy the fragrance if you're thinking that you're gonna get it next week or the week after. You're not going to get it until the end of January, but you will get updates from Fragrance du Bois email account, me as well, about the shipping of the fragrance. So I just want to make you guys aware that my fragrance, if you pre-order on the 19th, you're not going to receive it for at least 4 weeks. So please be aware of that. I think that that's it. I just wanted to quickly recap of how it smells because I feel like I was talking about the more informational points and not really how it smells and how much I'm in love with this scent. I am just so happy about what Fragrance du Bois and I created because for me, it is a really great fragrance. It is, like I said, not the best. It is not the best, it doesn't have the biggest projection, it's not a Chanel No. 5 or a Baccarat Rouge, but it's so special to me and it's something that I really personally love from the bottom of my heart to wear. When I first found out that I was able to do this, I knew exactly what type of fragrance I wanted to create. You guys know if you watch my channel and you're OGs over here, I am a gourmand lover. I am a lover of gourmand fragrances, something sweet, something edible, something sexy and intoxicating and delicious, but not too much. Something that you can wear for a date night, night out, fall and winter. I love those type of fragrances. More oriental and deep scents is what I love. And I knew that I wanted to create something like this with Fragrance du Bois. And that's exactly what we did. For me, my fragrance is one of the, for me personally, the most perfect date night scents. It is so addictive and sexy and sweet, but not too much. And it's something that people want to come and get closer to you when you wear it. It really, really is. I just cannot wait. I hope that I didn't ramble too much. I hope I talked enough about everything in this video. Please don't forget and don't miss out on the pre-order at the 19th? On the 19th of December at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. That is when the pre-order is going to be live. I'm stressing, I have anxiety. I really feel like there is not enough fragrances for everyone at all. Like there is really not enough. We ordered like nothing. So I really feel like the fragrance is gonna not be enough. And I'm really stressing for you guys because I really wanted everyone to be able to get a bottle if they really wanted to, but I don't think it's going to be possible. So try to get there at the exact time and try to order it straight away if you really want my fragrance. Cannot thank you guys enough for this opportunity, and this fragrance never would have been possible or never would have even been considered or anything without you. So please just remember that, and I'm gonna go because I'm gonna cry in a minute. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget about my pre-order on the 19th if you want to buy my fragrance. It's unisex, it's sexy, it's sweet, not too sweet. It's not the best fragrance in the world, but it's something that I really created from the bottom of my heart and I really love, and I'm just so happy about it. And don't forget it's unisex. Guys, stop thinking that's a women's perfume. It's unisex, okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you 1,000 times, thank you. And I will see you soon. If you have any questions, message me on Instagram, leave a comment down below, whatever you need to do, go ahead, I will answer you. Okay, bye guys.